Hey guys, and a massive welcome to this week's blog. I'm Vicky Murgatroyd from Life Empowerment Project, and this week I want to talk to you about a topic that gets brought up to me time and time again. That is the people in your life and how basically a lot of them will look to hold you back in one way or another, whether it be conscious for them or unconscious, doesn't matter. But what to do about those people in your life who are holding you back, who aren't supporting you, and who are making your journey to success that bit harder. And how to also transition out of having those people into your life to create space for the people who are really going to make a difference in your journey, really support you, really raise your level of thinking as well. So what we're going to discuss is the 4 Ds. 4 Ds. 4 different types of people who you want in your life and who it's time to get rid of. So the 4 Ds, we're going to start right at the bottom of the pile. These are the destructive people. So these are typically what I'll get, as I mentioned, what I get spoken to about fairly often. The destructive people, whether it be conscious or unconscious, is irrelevant. They are pulling you down in some form or some way or another. They are either completely neglecting the fact to be involved in your business, to ask about how you're doing or you personally. That level of care is just completely non-existent in terms of the business and you personally. And probably actively, if not unconsciously, pulling you down in some way. Maybe pulling you off your journey, pulling you off the path, or their behaviour is just so destructive that it entirely takes your focus from your business and from yourself and onto them. So it really depends whether they're friend, family, whatever. But the big key is with the destructive people, you need to get rid of them. It sounds really harsh, and I know how harsh it does sound, and I know how harsh it feels as you're doing it because I've done it. But honestly, you become the people with whom you spend the most time. You cannot afford, if you're connected to your dream and you're going to make this happen, you cannot afford to spend time with those destructive people. The two cannot coexist. It doesn't work. You can either have destructive people in your life, or you can create a rise really quickly and create everything you want with your business. It really is one or the other. Now, key, when they're family, and I spoke to this about a client the other day, when those destructive people are family, obviously it's very different from if they're just a person in your life. So what you want to do is approach the situation with absolute love and an open heart, firstly. And I know that you'll do that very easily because that's the space that you live in most probably. And as you do so, just explain that you're going to create, you really want to spend time with them, you really want to give your energy to them, and you're really keen to nurture the relationship and to allow it to grow. However, in order for you to make this step up, you're going to have to create some space between that. Now, you really want to spend time together, and you love when you spend time with them on this basis where things are positive, things are going well, etc. And what you want to do is create space for that to happen more often. That's the most subtle and nicest and most loving way to cut that destructive time with family members. Whereas with friends, sorry, it's just time to go. If those people are destructive on that level, they are toxic in your life, and there's no way around that. There's no polite way of saying it. Get rid of them. They don't deserve a place in your life. Now, to step back for a second, you're not making a judgment on who they are and saying that you're better than them in any way, shape or form, and that's what most people get hung up on, and I certainly used to as well. The difference is you're putting that respect back on yourself. I deserve more than this, and I will have more than this, because remember that when you fill a space, that's it, it's filled. If you're filling your life with destructive people, you're not leaving room for those higher level thinkers who really deeply care about you and your success in business, in personal life, etc. So there's no room for those amazing people to come into your life. So the destructive people, whether they're destructive consciously or unconsciously, have to go. Create the space for those, I was going to say better people, but that's perhaps not what I mean. Make the space for those more supportive people to enter into your life and to completely change the game, because you deserve it and you know you do. Okay, so slightly less time on the others than there was the destructive people, but number 2 of the 4 Ds is the decent people. So these are the people, perhaps they're not massively ambitious, perhaps they're not really looking to improve their life in any way, but they're decent, they're good people, they're just on a level of good people, that's all there is to it. You can keep those people in your life, but I will also say that you want to really be spending time with the other 2 levels, particularly the top level, as we're going to discuss in a moment. So the decent people, yeah, they more than welcome to have a place in your life. They may not support you actively, but they're just good people, so they're fine to have around. Number 2 of the 4 Ds is your dreamers. So these people, they are really ambitious in verbal world. They don't, however, back it up with any action. So these people, they'll talk a big game, etc., etc. They're great to be around. They lift your energy, but in actual fact, they're not really following through and doing anything. So again, can have around in your life in minimal form, I guess. But what you want to do is create space for the top level. So number one, those people who you really want to have around you in your life, especially on your journey to success, is the doers. Those people who set a goal for themselves and they go out and they fucking do it. They act on it, they take the action, they face their fears, they make it happen. Because you become the people with whom you spend the most time. Absolutely key. If you want to be as successful as I know many of you do, you're going to have to put the work in. You're going to have to put the action in. You know what makes that a hell of a lot easier? When you're surrounded by people who are putting the action in. So I've just come back off of a retreat with my coaching group, and those people are all doers. The people on the retreat, bear in mind there are people, even in those high level groups, who can't quite push themselves to take the action, and there always will be, but you really want to be keying into those people who are doers, who just go out there and put the action in, because let me tell you, when you're around those people, the best of you comes out, and it's always in there. The best of you is always in there, but if you're going to spend time with those destructive people, the best of you will just get buried, just like it is within them as well. When you're spending time with the doers, you're taking the action, you get that confidence momentum going, and that makes all the difference to your journey. It's going to make 2017 spectacular and absolutely unforgettable. So you got your 4 levels. Destructive, time to go. Decent and dreamers, cut your time with them. Really allow yourself to be spending time with the doers, because you will become more of an action taker, more of a result producer when you're spending time with those doers. And also, in your groups, look at what role you're fulfilling. Are you ever just a dreamer? Do you back it up? Are you always a doer? And really look to raise your standards, because when you do raise your standards and commit to that, you're going to attract those people who fulfill that as well. So, as I've said, all the way through, you become the people with whom you spend the most time. You want to be extraordinary? Hang around with extraordinary people. You want to be a billionaire? Hang around with billionaires. Literally, it makes all the difference, people who you're spending time with, not only on an emotional scale, but also how that affects you vibrationally, and who you're going to attract into your life and what you're going to attract and the level on which you're thinking. It's going to make it all the easier to do it when you're around people who naturally raise you up rather than being around people who naturally drag you down. So remember, find the doers, connect with them, be the example for you and for your group of friends as well, and connect with those people who are on that higher level doing the things that you want to do. It'll make all the difference. So I hope you got some massive value out of today, guys. Remember, the key message that I want you to take away from today is you putting value on you is what's going to make the biggest difference. Because when you value you, you will not naturally spend your time with those lower level thinkers. You're naturally going to raise that up, and it's going to make the game even easier for you. So as I say, I hope you got massive value. If you have, please share this video. The lessons that I share with you guys have absolutely changed my life in unimaginable ways, and I love to share that message with my clients, with you guys, and I would love for you to continue that ripple effect and share it as wide as you can as well. So much appreciated. I will see you on next week's blog, and in the meantime, live empowered and be inspired.